Everybody, welcome back. Episode 19 of the Fast Motor Podcast. I'm Elijah. My dad has had something come up with work, and I got some travel later in the week, so it is going to be just me and our guest that we got coming on this time. So probably the first and hopefully the last time we got to do just one of us, but we press on nonetheless. Getting into what I watched this week in racing. High limit at Davenport, Kyle Larson got the win. It was not his last of the week. He also picked up the high limit wins at Red Cedar and Gondik Law in their debut at that track. Pretty dominant when he was in the car, back in the sprint car. They got that Silva machine rolling. Race for the million, the wing sprint cars on pavement. They were at Owasso, and Cody Swanson got the win. Made a pass on the outside to take that one. World of Outlaws, they were at Plymouth, where Sheldon Haudenschild got the win. And then at Angel Park, where Carson Macedo found his way back to victory lane as well. Moving on, let's see. The Dirt Late Model Dream at Eldora, the big one. Bobby Pierce scores his first career Dream. Big win for him. One of the bigger of his career for sure. USAC Sprints, they were at Red Hill. Mitchell Moles took both nights there and showed a lot of speed in that Reinbold car. The All-Stars, they were at Williams Grove. Troy Wagaman Jr. picked up the win there at the track with the longest straightaways and tightest corners of pretty much any dirt track around. NASCAR Wheeling Modifieds were at Oxford Plains. John McKennedy picked up the win there. High limit, going back to some wing sprint car stuff, Aaron Reitzel picked up the win at Dakota, making his return to victory lane and continuing his strong season. CRA sprint cars, they were out at Santa Maria in California. Caleb Montgomery, back-to-back weeks with a non-wing sprint car win out west. The NARC series, they were at Silver Dollar. Chance Grasty picked up the win. ARCA West at Tri-City was won by Cole Denton. Silver Crown was at Gateway at Worldwide Technology out in St. Louis, and CJ Leary got the win there. And it's kind of a preliminary show to the IndyCar race at Gateway later that night, where Joseph Newgarden picked up the victory. ARCA at Michigan was won by Gio Ruggiero. He's, I think, won on pretty much all the big tracks so far this year, all the 2 mile pluses. He's won the plate races as well. Trucks were at Michigan. Corey Heim got the win. A kind of exciting last lap where him and Honeycutt were close. He was able to take the win. And then the Cup race, Denny Hamlin completed the Toyota sweep out at Michigan. He just had a dominant car there in that last run. Didn't really show it all day. Had to come from the back a little bit, and then just had a dominant car, tying him all time with Kyle Busch for on the wins list. That's kind of it for storylines. Again, summertime, a lot of racing going on. So the recaps are going to get a little shorter, trying to keep them just listing off the winners because, man, there's so much to get through. And that's not even all that raced. I mean, there's so much good racing on. That's just kind of the stuff that I've grown up watching, so that's kind of stuff that I still follow. But, man, you can turn anywhere, and there's some good racing going on. Speaking of which, some kind of segue into intro and our guests. There's some great racing going on in those parts of North Texas and southern Oklahoma that I got to live and watch for 2 years, and it's where I met the guest that we got coming on today. I was doing some video work, met him out at Southern Oklahoma Speedway, him and some of his buddies that they were all racing together, some modifieds and hobby stocks, factory stocks, whatever tracks call them stuff, different stuff. But I was making some videos for them. I got to meet them. They're a great group. And so without further ado, Payton Zentgraf is our guest today. I'll get him in here. Payton, thanks for coming on.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. So kind of, get us going. How did you start racing? And then kind of, if you're comfortable with it, go ahead and take that kind of like to where racing is today with what you're doing.
Well, we started out in go-karts when I was 8 or 9 years old and just slowly progressed. And I wanted to race a big car, and my dad told me I had to build it. So he drug it out of the shed in the back, and he made me build the whole thing. He taught me how to weld, and then we progressed up to a limited modified after that and kind of stuck with that this whole time. So we've been racing limiteds for 7 or 8 years now. It's been a fun journey.
Yeah. So did your dad race too?
Yeah, my dad was probably a 6 or 7-time track champion at Lawton Speedway in a mini stock.
Okay.
And that's what he wanted to introduce me into a big car, was a mini stock, and because they were a lot easier to work on, a lot less you had to do to them to get, be competitive and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
Where was your first race in a big car?
My very first race was at Lawton Speedway.
Is that Lawton? Okay.
Yep.
And what tracks do you race at kind of currently?
Currently, we've just been sticking around Lawton this year. Last year, we hit up almost every track we could. We went to Waco, Grayson County, RPM. We went to, pretty sure, Arklatex, Southern Oklahoma Speedway. Last year we tried to hit a lot of tracks, and this year it slowed down a lot because of my business.
Okay, so let's segue into your business. Tell me a little about that, because I kind of got to know you from the racing side, and then found out that you also had KP Kustoms. So talk a little bit about that.
In 2017, I decided I wanted to try to build a body, and me and my buddy were just messing around in the shop one night, and we were like, well, let's buy some stuff and do it. So I went out and bought a bunch of tools, and we just kind of slapped together a little body, and it actually turned out pretty sweet. And a bunch of people kept asking, you build them? I was like, no, not really, but I mean, I would, I guess. So, and I had a full-time job, so I was just doing them on the side for people. And then it just slowly got more and more and more and more. And last year, August, I got laid off at my job. So I was like, well, it's now or never. So I went full head of steam in it, and I bought more tools that'd make my job easier. And it's been good so far. So I just hope to keep the same momentum with it.
Yeah. So what all do you build? Are you building full cars? Are you hanging bodies?
Man, we will build anything that somebody wants. I'm right now currently working on a factory stock. I'm building it from the ground up. It's actually going to be my personal car. It's number 12 that I've done. I built Sport Mods, the car that you came. No, I think you videoed the black car. I can't remember.
It was the black car.
Yeah. Okay. So the year after that, I built a white car, and from the ground up, and we put a lot of time into it. And I think we went out and we won maybe 7 out of the 15 races that we ran that year. And I mean, it was a really, really good car. And once I got laid off, I really started freaking out for a second, because I was like, man, I don't know if this is going to work. So I actually sold it to a good friend of mine, and he still has it today. And he told me that if he ever sold it, I'd be the first one he's going to call. So I hope he does, if he ever does sell it.
Yeah, that car was sweet looking. I was bummed that I never got the dates to line up where I could come shoot that one for you, because that was a pretty car.
Yeah.
So how many cars, do you even know how many KP Custom cars are around that area that are out racing?
Man, I don't know, because I've built 31 tuners, and I can't seem to find where they went. Because I don't, when I go watch, I see a couple tuners, and I try to see if it's ones that I built, and I haven't seen them. So I don't even know where they went. But I mean, probably off the top of my head, I probably got 50 or 60 cars out there.
Dang. And you just started building in 2017?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's a lot. So you've built tuners, you've obviously built factory stocks, the sport mod, the limited mods. Have you built anything else than that?
I really want to build a B mod. I've just been these factory stocks are, I mean, really being sold quick. So I'm trying to just get them knocked out, because they're a little bit easier. A B mod's going to, of course, take more time. They got more mounts, and for bars and shocks and everything else, they're a little bit more complicated. But once I get caught up a little bit, I'm going to try a B mod for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. And that kind of segues into kind of what I kind of wanted to pick your brain as both a racer and a car builder a little bit, of somebody who's just around that scene and racing. As you say, the factory stocks are selling quick. I have never been anywhere else in the country that gets, and not every track is packed out, but like when I came in with y'all at Southern Oklahoma Speedway, I've never been at a track with so many modifieds and factory stocks and IMCA stock cars. Like, what, from your perspective, if you have any idea weighing in, like what keeps you guys coming back to the racetrack so much around that area?
Man, for us, it's really just the drive. Like, to go out there and have fun with your family. My wife really loves it. My kids really love it, and it's pretty much that's pretty much it. I mean, just the feeling to get out there and have your fans in the stands rooting you on, and it's a lot of work to get. I mean, a race car is another full-time job on top of if you do have a full-time job, and it takes a lot to get it to the track. And I wish more people would realize that, but I mean, some people do get how much work it is to actually get it to the track, but that's probably my biggest thing is just everything, the atmosphere, everything there.
Yeah, for sure. How do you think, and like this is just going to be like, my dad and I always say we have this podcast just to talk about the things that we love about racing and the things that we want to see translate to other places. Because I mean, man, my 2 years in Oklahoma, like I got to witness this firsthand of the car counts, and everybody kind of just with that, everybody I interacted it with kind of had that same outlook of, hey, we're here having fun with our friends. And I'd watch a factory stock feature that was 24 cars deep, and they are just beating the tar out of each other. And then at the end of the night, they're like having a beer, and everybody's they're all at the races, and they're happy that they're at the races. There's other places in the country. I've been fortunate to go and see some other racetracks where you don't have that as much. Either you've got competitors that are, and there's always competitive fire that people are mad at each other, but you got competitors that that just really hate each other, or you've got cars that won't show up because certain promoters are doing this, or fans won't show up. How do we get that culture, or is that culture changed in the last 2 years? Because from what I saw, that's the culture I'd love to see at every racetrack across the country. How does that get to other places?
Man, I really think that a lot of it is when all these promoters need to come together with USRA and IMCA and everybody else and get people on the same page. Talk to all the racers about the rules and see what they would like. And because we got USRA factory stocks, and then we have like an IMCA hobby stock, and we have tracks that are really close to each other, and they literally have to swap parts to go to either track. And it doesn't make any sense. I don't see why they can't come together and make it easier for the racer to get to your track. And even that you say, we still have good car counts at all the tracks, but just think if it was really that much easier for someone to be able to just load the car and go instead of having to swap from exhaust manifolds to headers and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
That's a really big deal in my book. And I really think if they did that the car counts would be even better.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
I really have.
That's a good point for sure. Because we see it where I'm at in just outside of Nashville. Like there was a very strong street stock presence here on asphalt, and then there was like a sanctioning body that had them, and then there was another track that wanted to race a different set of rules, and so everybody at that track wouldn't ever go anywhere else, and then the locals from the other places wouldn't go there, and so it just completely split the car counts in two. Whereas like you say in Oklahoma, if you had those rule packages come together, you're taking a 24 car field and they have 48 cars there, which goodness, that would be a crazy show.
Right.
What is I don't know anything about the technical side. So like talking about you building cars and stuff, like I love to like learn that kind of side of stuff. For factory stock to hobby stock, USRA to IMCA, the IMCA, what do you have to swap over? What is their different rules?
Man, some of them are tires. Depends what track you go to. They'd have to swap a completely set of tires. The biggest deal is really USRA. You can run screw-in air bleeds in your carburetor, and IMCA you cannot. And then IMCA you can run headers, and USRA you have to run stock exhaust manifolds. Which I don't know if you've ever been around too many hobby stocks, but exhaust manifolds are a straight pain to put on or to mess with. They burn up plug wires. So like the header deal is good all the way around. And they said that USRA is going to allow it next year. They actually put it out to be this year. And then they went back on there and they were like, okay, no, we're going to do it at 2027. And I'm like, why would you tell people that? Because I have a bunch of buddies that went out and bought headers and were like ready to put headers on, and then they just put a straight halt to it. But that's not a whole bunch of stuff to move over. It's just adding to your list of stuff that you already have to do to go to a racetrack.
Sure.
It makes it a pain.
Yeah. And again, like I said, there's a lot of tracks where that would like that. If you don't have already a healthy atmosphere around it, like that could kill tracks in certain areas that don't have the count to go back on. I've said the same thing. My dad and I have had that conversation a million times of like, we wish, and it didn't matter what class it was, if it was dirt modifieds or pavement sprint cars or late models, we're like, everybody needs to get on the same page with the rule book so that you can take your car and run anywhere.
Right.
And a little bit about that. There was a story I remember a while ago. It was when I was still living in Oklahoma. And there was a rain out somewhere. And I remember you posted out on Facebook that like your shop was open if anybody was changing plans and wanted to come over and use the shop to swap over or do anything like that. And that sat with me, and that's why I wanted to have you on this podcast, because I remember that.
Right.
Of just racers helping racers. So if you wouldn't mind getting into a little bit of that, and then just like what the pit area is like of guys helping each other out, because I think that's a part of racing that doesn't get celebrated as much as it nearly should.
Right. Yeah, a whole bunch of my guys, we're like one big family. When we go out there, we try to have a good time and help anybody. If somebody has spare parts, they're going to loan them. They might be mad about it Monday morning, but they're just going to order more parts and go about their day. Really, there's just such a great atmosphere between everybody that we go racing with. We have very few people we don't like. And then again, if those people that we didn't like would actually come and hang out and, talk about it instead of be about it, then we'd probably like them too. It's just, It's how racing is. You're going to have enemies and you're going to have best friends, and that's just how it is.
Yeah, that is just how it is. And it's part of what makes it good, because, a little rivalry on track never's a bad thing for the fans. Might be a bad thing if you're building cars. Actually, probably not if you get to build more race cars, because they're getting tore up.
Yeah.
So with you, with that, do you do any repairs to stuff, or do you just build and then send out?
Repairs is probably my favorite part, because
Okay.
I've had several people just go and annihilate their car into the wall, or another car hit them head on. And I try to be as fast as I can, because I'm a racer and I know how racers are. They want to get back on the track and get the groove back going. And I've cut frames and pulled frames back over. People bring them to me on a Sunday, and I'll have them done by Wednesday just to get them back to the track by Saturday. It's been, it's hard to do, but to see them go out there and do good again with a car that's been completely mangled up, it makes me feel good. So, I'll do almost any repair on any race car.
Okay. So, with that, like, do you have like a mechanical background, or did you learn all this from building cars when your dad said you had to build your first car to do, and just growing up around it?
My dad has been a mechanic for as long as I can remember. So I was always in the shop turning wrenches and doing anything he really asked me to do. If there wasn't nothing to do, I was sweeping the floor. From putting a starter on a car to pulling a motor out, I did it and I helped him. And so I got a pretty good mechanical background, and I don't enjoy doing that anymore. I used to really enjoy that, but after I started building race cars and doing race car stuff, which, who wouldn't want to do that for a living? But
yeah,
it's just something that I feel really passionate about, and I've turned out to be not the greatest at it, but I'm pretty good, I would think. Everybody says I'm pretty good at it, so.
the cars are great looking race cars. So as you can see, I still follow all those guys on Facebook, and they post, and they're like Dustin and Sutherland. I know he posts his new stocks, and I remember when you built his his white car last year, 2 years ago. That one was pretty. I remember that one came out. That was a nice looking race car.
He's got a brand new one. I just built him, and it's going to be all white, just like my white limited.
Yeah.
And
Oh
he's
man.
starting to put parts on it, so it's going to be sweet.
Oh man, I got to come back to Oklahoma and come to a race.
Yeah.
What is what's KP in the KP Customs?
That's another funny story. So, when I first started all this, my buddy's name that we were doing this out of his garage was Kobe. And I was like, well, we'll just call it KP Bodies because I was just going to hang sheet metal. So I put that on the side of a car and it just didn't look right at all. And so I was like, you know what, we'll change it KP Custom. It sounds better, more official, everything else. And then, he's really busy working 12 hours a day, welding all day long. He didn't really have much time to help with this side of it. But it kind of fit in perfect because my wife's name is Kelsey. So we just Kelsey Payton Customs.
There you go.
If I can only get her into the shop and help me, then we'd really be doing good.
that was kind of an easy switch then.
Yeah, it was.
So Kobe is not involved on that side anymore.
I just built him a car, and he's still one of my best friends. But as far as him being able to come down and actually put hands on the business,
yeah,
I would say probably not.
Yeah. Is he still? Is he? So you still just built him a car? I was going to say I haven't seen him post as much as he was when you guys were. I mean, you guys were running around quite a bit last year. I know.
Yeah, he got one win under his belt, and then he decided to sell. I guess he wanted to sell out while he was on top.
Quit while you're ahead, I guess.
Yeah.
Sail off into the sunset. So you're racing mostly at Lawton this year, you said, right?
Yes, sir.
Are you guys chasing points out there, or just racing when you can?
Really, just racing when I can. Like last weekend, the car, I haven't been able to check it over real well. And when I came off the track, it was just, the muffler was broke off of it. And I mean, weight was about to fall off of it. It was just, it's in really rough shape. So I actually took last weekend, this one that just rained out. I took it off, and I'd planned to go to Boyd this Friday, but we have a 80% chance of rain from Thursday all the way back to Monday. So if it doesn't rain, we'll be at Boyd. If it does, then I guess I'll just put some more hours in at the shop.
Yeah, sure. Rainouts are the worst.
Yeah, and then we've been getting them left and right.
Yeah, I know it. I remember my last spring in Oklahoma. I was supposed to go. It was like my last 2 weekends there, and I was supposed to go to, I think it was Southern Oklahoma on one weekend, and it got rained out. And I was supposed to go to Lawton the next weekend, and it rained out. And then I went to Idaho to go visit some family and was supposed to go to a race out there, and it rained out. And I had like 3 weekends in a row where I got rainouts, and I was like, this is terrible. On the subject of rainouts too, from a driver standpoint, because there's a lot of people that have very mixed feelings about how tracks handle rainouts. It seems like in Oklahoma there's kind of a consistency, at least, of some tracks call them early, some tracks will wait and try their very best to get the show in. As a racer who is putting in the work to get the car loaded up, take it to the track, what do you prefer?
Man, if it rains enough to where they know that they are not capable of getting the track prepared, I wish they'd just wake up first thing in the morning and just come on Facebook and say, there's no way we can do this.
Yeah.
If they think they can get it in and they can get out there and start working on it, then if they post at 3 o'clock, they post at 3 o'clock, I'll load up and I'll be there.
Yeah.
But I like to have the chance to where if they are going to cancel, to go somewhere else that is racing. Mm-hmm. So if they know they can't get it in, the sooner they can post would be obviously the better. So we can get, if we got to change gears or something to go to a different track, we have the time to do so.
Yeah.
But, sometimes it is what it is. If they post at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I'll leave it on jack stands and we'll try again next weekend.
Yeah. Sure. What are the rule changes? Because you run, is it a sport mod? Is that what the class is?
It's an IMCA sport mod or a USRA limited modified.
Okay, so we talked about the factory stocks earlier. What do you have to change on that thing to get it ready?
So I actually keep mine to where I can take it anywhere.
Okay.
It is fully IMCA legal, and every IMCA rule follows USRA rules.
Okay.
But there are advantages in USRA that would definitely help my racing program. But to me, I mean, like I said, I love going to the Southern Oklahoma Speedway. I really like Waco and all those other tracks. It's just not worth. It's like a rear end, a transmission, full roller rocker arms. I mean, there's a bunch we can do to make the car really perform a lot better. It's just so much work to get it. I mean, it'd probably take maybe 2 hours to swap all that over and have to rerun the valves for full roller rockers and stuff like that. It's just, to me, it's not worth a couple horsepower.
Yeah.
So I
Sure.
figured just keep it all IMCA legal and I can go anywhere I want.
So the IMCA rules just fit into USRA, but there's USRA has a little bit more you can play with to get it a little bit better.
Yeah, a little bit better rules, stouter parts. Like they can run a Brin and a quick change, which makes it easy to swap out gears if you go to another USRA track. But if I'm going to Ardmore, I have to run a stock 7.5-inch GM rear end, and I can't run a quick change. So right there, you'd have to change transmission and motor, or not transmission, motor, transmission and rear end, just to go racing again.
Yeah.
And that right there is a lot of work to be just hurrying up to go race a different track.
Yeah. And that doesn't even get into changing any setup to run at different tracks or different banking or anything. That is just getting it to where it's legal.
Right.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be not, you wouldn't be worth it. And then and that could certainly hurt car counts. Not that they're in that part of the country hurting so bad, but it certainly could. How are tracks doing? Because again, I haven't been there for over a year now. Like I remember, and you might not know anything about this one, but there was Elk City was having some. They ended up going out, and then they were supposed to start. Oh man, what was it called? Another one.
Clinton.
Yeah, Clinton, the Speed Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Is that one still going, or did that one fall through?
It never even got opened up. They got a bunch of people excited about it, and they never even opened the doors on it.
Yeah, I was just saying, they were pushing, and then all of a sudden it was just like it went radio silence, and I haven't seen anything since.
I'm pretty sure Longdale shut down too. I mean, all three.
Did it really?
Yeah, pretty sure. Oh. There's three, so Elk City, Clinton, and then Longdale. So a bunch of those guys up there, they don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah. No, because I got to go out. I went to Elk City on one of like their second to last race, and then I went to Longdale for their last one of the season last year or 2 years ago in the fall. And like those were, I mean, like Elk City could use some love, but the track itself was cool. And then Longdale was looked like a phenomenal facility. Did you ever make it out there?
I never made it to Longdale.
That place like was state of the art, like huge grandstands. Like it was crazy. It looked like they poured a bunch of money into it. So to hear it's closing is kind of wild because it was big. It was a big facility. But the southern tracks are all still doing good.
Yeah, all the ones down here, especially with factory stocks, I don't know what it is about them, but people just love them. I see people jumping out of modifieds and getting in factory stocks and going out there and dominating in a factory stock. I don't know if you saw, I think maybe a month ago, they had a 30,000 win at Boot Hill Speedway.
I did see that.
And they had, I think, 150 plus cars.
Oh my gosh!
Just factory stocks. I mean, it was pretty wild, and that's what I had planned to do. I've always told if you think you're a good shoe or can drive somewhat decent, build your own car and go out there and put it on the slab, and then people will see what it's all about. So I'm building one for myself right now, and I plan to have it at Boot Hill next year.
Oh, sweet. Are the factory stocks, if you're making it good and you're making it right, is it that much cheaper than a modified?
No, they're really expensive. So the only thing different from my sport mod to a factory stock is a tire. They can run 10-inch groove tires. Every other part on it is the exact same. I mean, even the motor, like you think you could go out to a junkyard and get you a little $500 motor. You can't do that if you want to run up front.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Best Engines is like $11,000 for a factory stock motor.
Man.
And it takes every other part that my sport mod does. So people have, I guarantee you, upwards of 40 to 50,000 in a really, really, really good one.
Yeah. Well, if there's shows paying 30 grand to win, I mean, might as well.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it well. So.
And I think it was last year they had a 30,000 win, they had a 20,000 win, they had two 10,000 wins, and a 5,000 win, and that was all factory stock. So I mean, the people were chasing that big money like crazy.
Yeah, you gotta get yours ready. Go take some paydays.
Yeah.
Do they have any good paying shows for the mods like that?
I haven't seen. The biggest one we have is in Kennendale, September, and it's 5,000 to win. They used to have a 10,000 to win, but it went away, I think, 4 years ago. So the biggest one is that I've been to is 5,000 to win, and they'll pack. I mean, I think we have 60 or 70 modifieds there, and it's a tough one to get in. I always get myself in either into the wall or into another car before I even get to make the show, but it's a good time. Me and a bunch of buddies will load up and go down there. We'll stay in motels and go have some fun while we're down there.
Yeah. That part of the country was my favorite, just across the board racing, because like that, like people are loading up, like you said, like talked earlier, they're with their families, and you've just got these cars that are coming from who knows where, and they're just showing up. And I remember it was is it the Jordan Page Memorial that's at Southern Oklahoma?
Yep.
I mean, there was across multiple classes. I mean, you had the IMCA modifieds, you had the sport mod, you had the IMCA stock cars, the factory or hobby stock, whatever. I can't remember which one is which, and the tuners. And there was like 250 cars in the pits. That's incredible.
That show right there, they always pack the pits full. Everybody loves coming to that show. I don't think I haven't missed one in a couple of years. You were there, and I raced it last year. So yeah, I've ran it for 3 or 4 years now, and it's always a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it is packed out. Like the amount of cars that were in that pit area, I have never seen anywhere else in the country. And I haven't been everywhere, but I've been to, fortunately, like I said, to be a few places. And I have not seen that magnitude anywhere. Like that was incredible.
Yeah.
It was a race fan's dream.
Oh yeah.
What track, and I mean, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, which track in your kind of usual circle is your, I mean, we'll do a little rapid fire later, and this will be kind of like a teaser, is your favorite to run that you get to race like kind of around locally?
Locally, I guess my favorite track would be SOS, where you filmed us at.
Yeah.
And it's not too, I mean, it's about an hour, 20 minutes. Lawton's about right at 45 minutes to an hour. But it seems like every time we go up there, there's, I mean, your typical stuff at your hometown track. There's always a little bit of drama, a little bit of rubbing, a little bit more rubbing than Southern Oklahoma Speedway. So that's where we enjoy it more. The atmosphere is definitely a lot better.
Who are the promoters at Southern Oklahoma Speedway?
John Webb and Nikki Webb.
How long have they had it?
As long as I can remember, for sure.
Yeah.
At least, I'm going to say at least over 10 or 11 years. My wife would probably know that one to the dot, but I made her go in the other room.
Yeah, I remember, like that atmosphere was cool. And like the promotion aspect of it on the other side, like I got on the pit area side and being on the other side, like it was just cool. Like it was families at the races. I mean, they just did a really good job with it, and they kept the facilities nice. Like I always love being able to celebrate promoters that can bring in the car counts, but they can also bring in the crowds, because it's a double-sided coin for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And they treat their fans really good. They have fan appreciation night where they can go out there and kids can ride in the cars, and they always throw candy out at intermission for the kids, and they always have something going on with the fans, whether it be throwing frisbees or shirts or something, just to keep them into it and wanting to come back. And I think that's a pretty dying thing in some tracks too. They just realize if they'd get more engaged with fans, then way more fans would come out and want to support it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, like you'd think that would be kind of like a common sense kind of thing,
Yeah.
but you're right. Like there's tracks that don't, and then there's tracks that are really trying and they just can't get it. Like here at the Nashville Fairgrounds, I mean, they're trying different things to bring engagement, like having some live music or having a cup driver come out or having an autograph session on the front stretch. Like they're trying, and the crowds are just hurting for whatever reason. We've talked a lot on here, Dad and I, and with some of our guests about the fan engagement piece of it. Of like, because I grew up and the race would get over and I'd go right to the pits, and everybody would be hanging out in the pits and signing autographs and sign your T-shirt and hanging out, giving out candy, whatever it was, and that always happened after the race. And now, as I've been back, like that doesn't happen as much. Do you see that happen ever, or are you guys pretty much well loaded up and kind of getting out of there as soon as the final flag falls?
It really depends how late it is for us. If a track will get on the ball, and because I've been like, I went to SOS one time and they thought it was going to rain at like maybe 10 o'clock or something. And we went, they started the first green flag at like 8 and we were done by 9:30. And no rain ended up coming. And at that point in time, yeah, we're going to hang out because I mean, I think we had a good night of racing that night, and all of our friends were there. And I was like, well, if it's not raining, I mean, we're kind of halfway loaded up just in case. But that I wouldn't mind. But sometimes we get done at 3 in the morning, and that's just dreadful.
Yeah.
But I don't mind hanging out signing autographs. We've definitely done it before, and I enjoy doing it. I wish more people came from the stands, because I was just like you. When my dad was racing, if I wasn't in the pits, I was in the stands, and when races were over, I was down there trying to be anywhere I could just to hang out.
Yeah, just to be around the race cars.
Yeah.
Like, just get close, go sit in one, do whatever. Just being around it. Like that was my favorite memory. So, yeah, I mean, being around it, there was some late nights. I mean, because the summers in Oklahoma, I mean, it's hot, so you start the races a little bit later. Which that was a first for me when I was there. I've never been to a race that didn't start hot laps until 7 o'clock at night. Like that was wild for me.
Wow.
How do you get fans connected to the drivers or to the cars in a different way? Like what do you think could be done? And like I said, that part of the country is not really hurting with it, but other places are. What do you think could be done to get fans connected there without having to go, after the races when it's, getting over at 3 o'clock at night?
So I remember when I was starting in mini stocks at Lawton, they had like a fan deal that you come before the races and there'd be like free merch, and there'd be a dunk tank where you could dunk your favorite driver, a bunch of other activities, and all the drivers, and they'd park their cars out front, and all the drivers would kind of hang out and meet everybody. And I think that was a really cool deal, and I don't know why it went away, but anything that would, I don't know, make them have a good time, whether it be that or whether you take them down on the front stretch during intermission or before the race, let them come down there if they want to go down there and take a picture in Victory Lane. I mean, anything that would just make them want to come back. I've been to several racetracks in the last couple of years where the announcer wasn't even very good, and they don't do anything for the people in the stands. But like I said, it is what it is. I wish they would do more, but I'm not the promoter, and I don't want that sweat on my back, so I'm not going to mention it to anybody.
Yeah, no, I know they have a hard job because they have to balance the fans side of things and the driver side of things. Like you got to keep the drivers happy, or else they won't come back, and that back gate money is what's probably paying the majority of their bills. So I remember we had a guest on, Melissa Perkins. She promotes a non-wing sprint car series, the Ultimate Sprint Car Series out in California. And what she does with her drivers is she's like, well, first of all, we have to travel to different tracks. And so we have to try and learn the culture of that track and how to fit our fan engagement into their show. If they're a track that gets on it and gets done quick, then we do all of our stuff after the races. But if it's a track that's going to get over later, we have to incorporate that through the night. And she's like, I'm never going to force a driver to do something that he doesn't want to do, though. He's like, if he doesn't want to go into the stands and hand out candy, then he doesn't have to. But some of my drivers will do that. Do you guys are there any traveling series that run through Oklahoma, or is it all pretty much just like sanctions running at certain tracks?
Man, there's Tom's Modifieds. That's pretty much the biggest deal. Every once in a while, we'll have a sprint. Like we had World of Outlaws come to Lawton in March. But other than Tom's and Arms Modifieds, there's not really like a true travel deal. There used to be a IMCA stock car tour, and that was really, really fun to go to. It always started in Abilene. It came to my actual home track's about 10 minutes from my house, and it shut down, I think, in 2022. But they used to come there, and then they'd go to Cannondale. And I mean, that stock car tour would bring in 50 or 60 stock cars. And when you put 25 plus stock cars on a little bull ring, it is awesome to watch.
Those things are crazy too. The amount they hike up those.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, those things were gnarly.
Yeah, I always tell myself one day.
One day.
Mm-hmm.
Will you ever get into like a full like IMCA modified?
I told myself if I ever did do it, it would be an IMCA modified, just because they're a little less pricey if you want to take a cheaper route. But the USRA guys, I know some of them that have $40,000 or $50,000 in a freaking motor, and I'm just me. If I went out there and I heard an engine that costs that much, I'd probably cry myself to sleep. It would just be a bad deal. So I'd rather go run an IMCA mod where I can stick a crate in there and just go have some fun or something along those lines.
So is the IMCA stuff a little bit more budget friendly than the USRA?
It can be. Of course, it's all, every class I think is as deep as your pockets can go. I mean, you can spend endless money, but you can be competitive in an IMCA modified and not have a whole bunch of money in it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, money can buy speed, so the more money you spend, the faster you're going to go. So if you have somebody that knows a little bit of what they're doing.
Right.
Well, man, I mean, we kind of bounced around a lot of topics, but it was good. I kind of wanted to talk about a lot, and we just talk racing and tracks and sanctions and all that stuff. But before I kind of wrap this up, and we have these questions that we ask to every driver. Not every driver, every guest. So if you're ready, I will start firing them off. And you can answer if you want to just go one word quick answers, you can, or if you want to explain your answer a little bit, you can. Just feel free to do whatever with them.
All right. Well, let's shoot.
Since we kind of covered your favorite track that you kind of race at locally, favorite track aside from the ones that you get to race at multiple times a year?
I really would like to go. I have not been to Boot Hill, and that is one that I really want to go to.
Yeah. That sounds like a fun one. I would love to go see that 30,000 to win stock show. Like that would be insane.
Put it on the calendar come next year.
When is it?
I don't know. Well, they just had it, so I don't know when it is next year, but as soon as they post it, I'll send it to you. You can come over to us.
I will circle it. The most memorable race you've ever watched?
Ever watched? That's probably a really tough one. I'd probably have to say either watching my dad win a race or any of my guys that I built cars for. I mean, those were always good, memorable moments.
Yeah. It's probably fun to see something that you built get parked in
Oh
victory
yeah.
lane. I can only imagine that.
Oh yeah.
Your racing hero growing up.
Growing up. Man, I don't know about that one. Now you got my wife laughing at me. I don't know about that one. I'd have to say my dad, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, even though he was in a mini stock, he was still got me to the track and got me out of the house to help him scrape mud or do whatever.
Yeah. Mine was my dad too, and I never got to see him race because he retired when I was born. So I guess I got to see him race once when I was like 6 months old.
Dang it.
Your favorite current series to watch?
Definitely the Tom's modifieds.
Where all
They
do they run at?
and they have I think they're going to be at RPM this weekend. They
Okay.
were at Ardmore a few weekends ago, and I mean they completely just put on a show. And they go in that first. I'm pretty sure they started 3 wide, and they go in that first corner 3 wide and start sliding everybody.
Oh.
It's just wild.
At that place, especially. That place
Yeah,
is not that wide.
yeah.
Best track food.
Cheeseburger.
All reliable.
Yep.
The meaning behind your car number.
Yeah, it was my dad's. He always ran 3Z, and it was always an orange Mustang stock body mini stock. And I even was young and dumb once and tattooed it on my wrist. 3Z. It was not an orange, but it is a 3Z.
Hey, you have to be 3Z forever now.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Your ultimate goal in racing.
I'd like to hit 100 career wins. I don't know how far off I am. I know I'm nowhere close. I'm just one of those guys that works on them all day long and tries to be at the track every weekend, do the best I can, really.
Yeah. You just keep racing. Eventually it happened. I know you've had some success. I got to be there and see some speed firsthand.
Yeah.
So hopefully that factory stock will bring a couple more.
I hope so.
And maybe get that modified back too.
Yeah.
Favorite hobby outside of racing?
I don't have one.
I was gonna say that's a hard one for racing people to answer.
Yeah, I don't. We really enjoy going and riding side by sides, but it is a really love-hate relationship. Because I love to go out and ride, and like we went out and rode since we rained out, and I was thinking for whatever reason that this town a couple miles away wouldn't have got rain, and that was very stupid of me because we went out there and it was just soaked, and I was like, well, we're here, let's try it out. And I mean, we came back muddy head to toe, and I washed Sunday for like 5 hours straight.
Ugh.
And it was that's the part that I hate, but I do enjoy riding, going out with, like we went out with Dustin and my wife and a bunch of other people, and it's always a good time.
Yeah, it's good. Still around motors and four wheels. So.
Yeah, I can't get away from motors.
I know. I wish I could get around motors more, but that's all I got. And so before we wrap up, just want to say thanks for coming on and just talking kind of all aspects of racing. We talked about tracks and promoters and fans and car building and racing local. I mean, thanks for just having the conversations and talking. And I like to hear, like, you're like the true short track guy. I mean, you're building your stuff, you're working on stuff, you're repairing stuff, and you're just showing up to the track with your family every week. I mean, that's the backbone of motorsports in our country. So thank you for what you do, and thank you for talking about it with me.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you for having me.
All right. Well, that kind of wraps us up. Episode 19 of the Fast Motor Podcast. Every Wednesday morning, YouTube and Spotify. You guys keep tuning in, and we're going to keep having guests on and talking racing. See you guys.